Run for the Roses is coming up on Saturday. We, of course, will have previews and coverage of it this weekend right here on SportsGrid. And Richard Rosso, who joined us earlier in the week, is back once again from Daily Racing Form. He's the Chief Commercial Officer. They just recapped Derbython. We're going to take a look at what you can expect this weekend. And phenomenal coverage, I thought, thus far. And Richard, thanks again for coming on Newswire here on SportsGrid. Off to a great start, I would say, with all of the coverage for Derbython. And hopefully it was a very big success for the company and also success for the people in need. I know very important charitable contributions were made.
Absolutely. We're just wrapping up right now, 24 hours of continuous coverage, handicapping information, interviews, the legends of handicapping coming on Daily Racing Forum. It's just been phenomenal. We're raising money for 3 wonderful charities, the Jockey Club Safety Net, the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund, and the Thoroughbred Aftercare Alliance. So we're hoping that they're getting lots of donations. I heard some early word that they are. And I always thank our great players for supporting these great charities. It's been a phenomenal 24-hour run. And in a way, I'm sad that it's over. It's just been chock full of information, and we're really looking forward to now the main event. It really heats up today with Derby, and we're looking forward to a great Oaks and a great Derby.
Yeah, it should be fun today and tomorrow. Lots of coverage. And by the way, all over SportsGrid, you can see us previewing this. And Richard, that's what I kind of wanted to ask you is, certainly your thoughts on, how we contributed here at SportsGrid to the Triple Crown and, the coverage and the segments. And I think people watching really appreciated it.
Great. Well, we think we're a fantastic fit for SportsGrid. We could give insight to what's going on in horse racing in a totally different way because we've been doing that for 130 years. We've been continuously publishing a newspaper. We have a great digital offering, digital website, past performances, videos, handicapping, you name it. And we just want to share that with the world. So the fact that we can be on here and talk about what we're so passionate about has been absolutely phenomenal. We could bring just some depth and insight about what's going on minute to minute, just like you do for all of the other sports that you cover. So, we're very proud to be associated, and we're glad to be here as guests. You've had some tremendous handicappers. Dan Illman, who's our marquee personality, has been on a few times, and he has the wealth of experience to talk about the Derby, not only current but historically, and he can bring a lot of specific knowledge to the table. And then David Aragona, who's one of our younger handicappers, but younger doesn't mean that he's any less experienced. He's solid with information. He's more of a data-driven handicapper, and he's part of our Timeform US product. So he looks at races in a different, more analytical way. So we've had handicappers that have 2 different styles, come on SportsGrid. And we're looking forward to contributing for a long time to come, and we'll be back for the other classics. And after the Kentucky Derby, the Preakness, and the Belmont Stakes, we're looking forward to this association.
Yeah, Preakness next month, of course, Belmont at the end of June usually, and I can't wait to dive in more. And I think that, Richard, it's really important to note that you made a comment there on Derby Day. People were like, what is that? People never heard of it before. So, Richard, I think that requires a little bit of an explanation because I think most people have heard of the Oaks.
Sure.
And certainly everyone's heard of the Kentucky Derby. But what has happened through the years, Richard, as you know, is that once upon a time this was a Saturday event, and then it became a Friday event. Now it's like a week-long event as well.
Well, that's right. It's interesting how the flow at Churchill Downs goes. Derby is the day that people start coming into the town, into Louisville for Derby week. And Churchill Downs done a great job of promoting Thursday as a great day of racing. It's not as crowded as Oaks Day, and certainly not as crowded as Kentucky Derby Day, but you can still come out, enjoy the racetrack, enjoy horse racing, bet on some races. They have a really good card today to bet on. A couple of stakes races, the first juvenile stake race of the year at Churchill Downs. So it's just a great day to come out, and they'll get, I think, about 50 or 60,000 people come to the racetrack today. Tomorrow they'll get about 90,000 for the Oaks, and they probably get a crowd of about 160,000 for Kentucky Derby Day, just to give you an idea of the magnitude. So it's a good, comfortable way to come to Churchill Downs during Derby week and really get your game on. I think it's a great card to bet on, and if you're there, hopefully you have a great time.
Yeah, and I think all weekend long we'll do a good job here on SportsGrid with a lot of the contributors that you guys are providing us to break this thing down. But I mean, Richard, I can't let you go here off the show without getting your thoughts on the upcoming Run for the Roses here. Now, look, I'm not an expert here, and that's why we rely on people like the people in your company coming on the show. I think that that's what's really important. The only thing that I know is that when I look at the jockeys and I see John Velasquez, I know that that's going to be the favorite riding in the Kentucky Derby this week. And so Fierceness indeed is the favorite this
Oh
week.
yes,
Any,
yeah.
yeah, go ahead.
No, no, sorry. Yeah, Fierceness is definitely going to be the favorite. So keep in mind, I'm not as sharp as our handicappers. I study the business of our operation, a little less on the handicapping side, but that doesn't mean I don't have an opinion. And I'm going to really take a stand on Fierceness. This is counter to what the experts are saying, so I'm going to do something a little unusual. Take a stand in that I'm not going to have Fierceness at the top of my ticket. I think Fierceness is a front running style horse that either finishes first or finishes out of the money. So
Ooh.
I'm going to play it that way. But I'm in tune to some of the other horses that are out there. Like I kind of like Catching Freedom, 8-1 Morning Line. You have Flavian Pratt up board, who seems to ride the Derby real well. I was on a podcast, or I was listening to a podcast last night where four of our handicappers chose Catching Freedom one right after the other. It seems kind of interesting, very, very intriguing horse. Long shot out there, maybe the 15 Domestic Product. That's a Chad Brown and Irad Ortiz aboard, who's one of the nation's best jockeys, and on a 30-1 horse, he's going to be on my ticket. And we call it the wise guy horse. The horse that everybody's talking about seems to be Anna Marie right now. So that's the number 7. So yeah, we're going to have a good Derby. I'm going to place bets, my friends, go to a Derby party, have a good time. Looking forward to it.
I am too. Richard, great stuff, great content. Thanks so much for being part of our coverage this week. Really appreciate it. And we'll catch up again before the Preakness Stakes. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Really appreciate it.